You're listening to the Hella Well with Danielle show, a podcast taking women of color on a journey exploring all things wellness and travel related. We're all about showing you how to put on your oxygen mask first and creating lasting self-care habits that will free you to travel the world and live the life you truly desire, and not one you have to fake loving. I'm your host, Danielle Washington. Now let's buckle up and start this journey. Welcome to the Hella Well with Danielle podcast, your weekly mental vacation from the daily grind for busy women who just need a moment to pause, breathe, and woosah. I am your host, Danielle Washington, and I've been thinking a lot about trying to juggle so many different things and kind of what life feels like when you're trying to do all these different things. And you feel like you're just failing at everything because it just seems like nothing is working out. I don't know if you've been there before, but that's kind of what we're going to be talking about in today's topic. But before we do that, I like to kind of get a moment for us to just ground into this space, into this time together. So if you can, I invite you to close your eyes and just begin to inhale and exhale. And as you inhale, I want you to imagine that you're pulling up this grounding, calming, supportive energy from Mother Earth that's coming through your feet. And as you exhale, it's being brought to any parts of your body that may need a little love, a little extra attention, a little support. Inviting you to inhale again, bringing in more of the energy. And as you're doing that, asking your body, what do you need? What do you need right now? And if you can pull that energy of what that part of your body needs, maybe your neck needs a little release from tension, or your back. Maybe your heart just needs to feel like it can open a little bit more. I want you to inhale and exhale into those spaces and listening to your body to see, what does he or she need? Taking one more deep inhale in, exhaling it out, and knowing you can always ask and have this moment of inhaling and exhaling and imagining that energy is being pulled up and into your body, and you're nourishing yourself with whatever you need. When I think of the word prioritization, it seems like such a Virgo moment. It means getting organized. It means putting things together, having a plan. Prioritization often means, to many people, and to me included, I think of focusing on what can I say no to? Setting boundaries. What can I say no to? But today I'm inviting you to shift your perspective. I want you to shift out of focusing on what you can say no to and focus on saying yes to you. Focus on saying yes to you and asking yourself, what do you need? What do you need? Ask yourself out loud, what do you need? I've been sitting here asking myself that very question, and it feels so uncomfortably weird. I say weird because it's like it's such a foreign concept to ask myself, what do you need? To hear that question directed towards me, to think about, what do I need? You see, I'm so used to being the one asking this question. How can I be of service to you? What do you need? I'm used to being the one asking this question. So to have someone else ask me that, or asking myself, because I don't have anyone else asking me that question, it feels odd for me to ask myself, what do I need? When I was thinking about that, I was like, well, has anyone really asked me that question? And I had a friend who would ask me that question, like, what do you need? I got you. I'm here for you. And that felt good until I realized that it wasn't coming from a good space. You see, that friend, we're no longer friends, but that friend at the time, or I thought was a friend, had a savior complex. That person didn't want me to be saved. He wanted to be the one who saved me. It wasn't about helping me save myself. It was about them fulfilling their need. And I didn't know that at the time, but all I know is it didn't feel right. Something felt off. And so I couldn't trust it. And now, hindsight, I can understand the situation. But it also made me untrusting of people asking me that question. If someone was to ask me that again, if I'm going to be honest with myself and with you, I don't know. Right now, I feel like I'm in a space where I'm swimming, but I'm not moving anywhere. Like I'm trying to get back to shore or get back to the boat. But every time I try to paddle, I'm not going anywhere. I know this feeling not because I can swim, but I've gone canoeing. And I don't know why someone would let me on a canoe by myself, or it was a kayak actually. It was in Puerto Rico. And the waves were so strong, and I was trying to paddle my way back to shore. But every time I did something, I'm like, I'm not moving. I'm in the same space. And that's where I feel I am right now. I'm doing all these things to try to juggle my large and overloaded schedule. And I feel like I'm not making any progress. Each day I'm doing stuff. I know I'm checking things off my to-do list. I know I'm getting things done, but it doesn't feel like I'm making any progress. I'm curious to know, have you felt this way? Have you been here? When I find myself in a situation where the other day, my mother says, your word means nothing. Your word means nothing because you can't keep your word. And I was hella triggered by this. I was angry at her. And instead of saying something, I'm glad I allowed myself to walk away from the situation. That's growth. But within walking away from that situation, I had to sit there and be like, instead of me being, wow, she was really hella mean and shady about saying that, I had to think about that. And she was right to a large degree. Like, I haven't been able to keep my word. And it's not for a lack of trying. It's not because I'm just saying, oh, I'm going to do something, and I'm like, I don't feel like doing it, so I'm not going to do it. It's that I have so much on my plate, and I'm trying to do everything, but I can't. I'm saying no to so many different things. It's not like I'm not saying no. I'm saying no, and I'm trying to hold some boundaries and stay within my capacity, but there's still so much to do. There's so much on my plate that I'm not able to keep my word. And that feels guilty. I feel shame. I feel frustrated. I just feel overwhelmed because I keep trying and I feel like, again, I'm getting nowhere. I feel like I'm letting people down. Every day I ask myself, okay, well, who am I going to let down? That's my daily question. Who am I going to let down today? Who am I going to let down today? Who am I going to disappoint? Often I choose myself because it's just easier. It's easier to choose myself because I don't have to feel the disappointment and frustration and annoyance from other people that I've let down. I feel it for myself, but what's keeping me afloat in this whole situation is that I've been giving myself some grace. But if I didn't have the knowledge and the wherewithal and the tools to try to give myself grace, I don't know where I would be. But I also know giving myself grace is keeping me afloat, but it's not enough. It's not enough. So I asked Danielle, what do you need? I'm literally asking myself, Danielle, what do you need? And I'm listening. I'm listening because there's no one else out here asking the question. So I'm asking myself, what do you need? And the answer I heard back first was help. Girl, you need help. You need to ask your brother to come help your parents more. Or maybe ask your family members, because there's a million of them out here. Ask them to come here and check on your parents. Help them cook a meal, do something. I need creating a daily schedule and to live by that. Today I said I was going to do all these things. I had a plan. And then I let one email derail the rest of my day because I didn't stay on schedule. I need to stay on schedule. I need to create a schedule and stay on that schedule because that will help me. The other thing that came up was that I need to look for a VA. Maybe that will help. So what else do I need? The other thing that came up was joy. I need moments when I'm not thinking about a deadline or a to-do list, but just pure kid-like fun, judgment-free. I thought about maybe going back to dancing, because dancing is a space where I'm not thinking about anything. I'm not worried about getting it right. I'm just free, and I'm in the moment, and it becomes like a spiritual release. I also need rest. I need rest. There's 7 different types of rest. And there's a couple different versions of rest that I need. I need rest from social media. I need rest from digital devices. I need rest from conversation. I need emotional rest. I need all different types. I need physical rest. I need rest. Because I feel that I'm not allowing myself to rest because I'm like, there's so many things I want to do. There's so many people I want to help that I can't rest. Like, I get some rest and I do sleep and I do force myself to physically go to bed, but I do know my mind is racing. I know that what's been helping me a lot lately is I've been doing yoga nidra at night. And so that, if you're not familiar with yoga nidra is considered yoga sleep. So nidra is that state between being awake and asleep. And there's this beautiful way to get yourself into different brain waves, to go deeper and to heal on different levels. And it's a form of just beautiful awareness and deep, deep relaxation. And so I've been doing that at night, and I know that I'm getting better rest. But I can be doing better in different things. I need to remove some financial shadows and fears that I'm holding. Some things that have been weighing in the back of my head that feel like nooses that keeps tightening further and further on my neck due to changes in my consulting situation and a bunch of other different things. I find myself worrying more about finances. And I'm running from some things. And it's me being able to shine a light on the shadow areas. I think that will help me in such a beautiful way. I also need support. And that's hard for me to ask. And I say support different than help. I need someone who I can share what I'm going through, that I can lean on and not feel guilty for leaning on that person. I need to feel like I don't always have to be strong. I don't have that. I'd love an accountability partner. I think that will help me stay on track. Because like for me, if I know that no one else really knows, I'm like, well, no one really knows everything that's going on, so, we're good. I think having that accountability will be helpful. I also need a trust partner, someone who I can trust. Like I was telling you before about that friend who wanted to just save me because that's what made them feel good. I want to feel that I can trust someone to be vulnerable. Like I want someone who I can feel vulnerable with. Like I'm not vulnerable. There's not 50 million walls like I used to have. But it doesn't mean that I'm vulnerable. It doesn't mean that I let people fully in, because I know that I don't. I want to. But I think of that situation when I did, only to feel like someone was just saw me as a lost puppy that they needed to save. And that felt so hard. It felt like betrayed. I don't know anyone else to say it. I felt that I thought someone was finally here for me, and in reality, they kind of weren't. And the last thing I realized, that when I asked myself, what do I need? What does Danielle need right now? She needs someone to ask her, what do you need? And then actually care and mean it. And that's where I am. And I share this not as a pity party. I share this as maybe someone else is going through the same thing of feeling like you're busy prioritizing, you're juggling a lot of things, and you feel like you're not getting anywhere. You're checking things off, but the list still seems long. And you're saying no. You're focusing on your capacity, but it still doesn't seem to be enough. I'm inviting you to ask yourself, what do you need? And saying yes to you. I hope this helps someone, at least one person. I'm going to try some of these things and I'll report back and see how it works. But right now, prioritization means saying yes to me. And on that note, I will talk to you guys next week. Ciao.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Hello Well with Danielle show. Make sure to visit our website, hellowellwithdanielle.com, where you can subscribe to our show on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon Music and never miss an episode. Also, you can follow us on social media at Hello Well with Danielle on Facebook and Instagram, and Hello Well Danny on Twitter. And if you like hella love the show and got some good nuggets out of it, know that I'm not too proud to ask for you to please leave a rating or review on iTunes so that we can continue to expand our reach and help other women of color. Again, thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you next week. Ciao.